Well, good evening and good afternoon, and thanks to all of you for showing up on time. And welcome to the 2014 Occupy National Gathering Planning Call. I'm Lisa with Occupy Sacramento. I will be facilitating today. Jackie with Occupy Buffalo will be doing the technical assisting, and Sally will be taking notes. I'll just quickly go over the usual speaking procedures. Your mics are all on mute. If you want to speak, press 1. I'll call on you as soon as I can. Press number 2 to show approval. Press number 3 to show your disapproval. Press number 4 if you have a direct response to something that somebody is saying. And press 5 if you're having tech problems, and Jackie will see what she can do to get those resolved. After you're finished speaking, say, I yield, or I check, or I'm done. And very, very important, please keep your comments to 90 seconds or less. We want to do what we can to try to keep these calls from getting too unwieldy and long. Now, that doesn't apply to report backs, which obviously have to be longer. I'd like to just quickly read through today's agenda before we actually start. And if anybody has any questions or comments about the agenda, go ahead and press number 1. We will start with check-ins and announcements, and then move into report backs from working groups. That will be followed by report backs on current pending business. That will be the press release and the proposal vision statement. Then we're going to go into old business. If it's not yet 7:45, we will start out with Lumio, whether or not to use this for NatGat decisions, for discussion, voting. At 7:45, which is 4:45 Pacific time, we will start talking about whether or not to have a fiscal sponsor. And we will be joined by Elaine from the Alliance for Global Justice, and we'll be able to ask her lots of questions about fiscal sponsors. The new business will be, there's a proposal for discussion panel workshops on the Internet. Somebody added, I think Chaz added, I hope subgroups are using Google Hangouts and the like for their meetings. There was something about conflict resolution, if Cal is on the call. And the last 2 items are Share Tribe. And yes, Jackie, we did discuss this a lot in our Occupy NatGat meeting. And finally, we've got Occupy the Musical, a fun way to revisit, remember, and honor our shared occupied experiences. And Donna Pirana will be leading that call. So I do not see any hands up, so I take it that that agenda is good for everyone. So let's start out with report backs. The first up here, we've got a report back from Occupy Sacramento, and I will be doing that. We talked about, it looks like about 8 items. We talked about All Streets doing the kitchen group. We all liked that idea, though we want to know how many people will be fed for $650. Also, too, recognizing that, you know, if we underpay, we can always give the group more money if more people show up than we think are going to show up. So I don't think we need to agonize too much over this, but let's just get a rough estimate of how many we think will come. Occupy SAC liked the idea of using Lumio for a trial run. We discussed possible mime troupe workshops. One would be learning how to effectively ridicule the establishment, doing effective street theater. Somebody mentioned theater of the oppressed, humor in Occupy, and focusing on environmental issues such as the KXL pipeline, GMOs, because the environment is a big issue in California and Sacramento, and they always have the biggest protests, so we might be able to pull in people from other organizations to join us. We talked about possibly doing a protest during NatGat, protesting the trains that are shipping fracked oil. The train routes go right through residential areas, including mine, about 4 blocks away from me. We discussed Share Tribe, which will be talked about later on in the call, and Occupy SAC likes Share Tribe. Yes. We also wondered if we could have some sort of a national media presence at NatGat. Somebody like Tom Hartman or Amy Goodman. Maybe somebody could do a short show from National Gathering. We also like live streaming so that people nationwide can participate in NatGat. We talked about some speakers and aimed kind of highs, and people suggested Matt Taibbi, Chris Hedges, also Chief Kayleen Fisk, and she's connected with Idle No More. And finally, we were, the 7 of us who met were enthusiastic about using a fiscal sponsor, and the 7.5% take for the fiscal sponsor was fine with us. So if anybody has any questions, go ahead and press number 4. If not, I'll go ahead and thank you. I see some twinkles up here. Thank you for the twinkles from Sally, Nikki, and Jackie. And Brother Carter, it looks like you've got a comment. Brother Carter, go ahead.
Yes, I like everything the way it's set and the way you have it set, but there's some other intimates I was looking to discuss Saturday, but I didn't get a chance to catch up with you neither then or on a phone call. But with the other elements around the show itself on August 3rd will also include military, because of the work that's been done by Code Pink, which is based right out of San Francisco. So that's also still part of the NSA, as we would say. We're not going to get deeply hearted into all of the wars and stuff that are happening around it, but the drones are a big part in the issue. And right now we're going to be going to court, I believe, this week for one of our people that delivered a letter there on the Air Force Base, and so they're going to court for that. So I don't want to leave them out in that equation when you were talking about the different groups. And then the other part when you were talking about the speakers and Amy Goodman, that should be done. That's a natural because it's a national. But one of the names that I'm still working on with that group, as far as in speakers, is still with Dr. Cornel West on getting him here, because he's, like I said, he's from here, So I'm really trying to get him to come home, for this. It's just hard to describe now because we have so many things that's going on. But I think with this, we're going to be the ones to take, pretty much the lead coming up in this year. We got a lot of stuff on the table. Check, I want to talk on here.
Okay, great. Thank you. I've added that to my notes. So, note taker, please add Code Pink and Cornel West to speakers that Occupy Sacramento would like to have. Donna, go ahead. Your hand's up.
Yes, I have a direct response to that. It's amazing. Any of these speakers would be absolutely fabulous, of course. I just want to put a gentle reminder out to everyone to keep in mind that these people may have limited schedules and times, so we just need to remember to stay adaptable for if we can get any of these national big voices they're going to need to be flexible, and we're going to need to be flexible, so I just wanted to remind everyone to keep that in mind when we're planning. I yield.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Donna. Yes, we do. Okay, Sally, go ahead.
I'm sorry. That was a mistake. Jack, sorry.
Okay. Well, Sally, please don't feel bad because I made a mistake. I forgot to do check-ins. Gosh. So I'm going to do them right now, very, very quickly. So let's go through the check-ins. Nikki, go ahead. Your mic is on. We're just checking in.
It's Nikki from Palm Springs. I would add the gal from the Break the Set to that list as well. Over.
I'm sorry, the who?
The gal from Break the Set. It's a YouTube thing. She does work.
Okay, great. Go ahead and add that, Sally. Okay, Daniel, go ahead for check-ins.
How you doing? From Occupy Wall Street. How you doing? This is Daniel. How's fun been going on over there? Now I came to say that NACAD's going to be amazing, right? When it comes, I heard the whole story about July 30th and August 3rd. I say it's a pretty good date. Yeah, I agree with y'all because it's going to be probably some massive. I agree on one thing about about democracy now have a national coverage. I think is a pretty good idea. It's pretty cool. Like I always say, is I can't wait for NACAD, because I'm bringing my good old friend, my good old girl Tracy, going to come with me. She's from Occupy, Indiana. Thank you very much. And we're going to be storming over there on the West Coast in July. So I can't wait to see you guys.
Thank you. Well, thank you for the enthusiasm, Daniel. Jackie, go ahead.
Hi, Jackie, Occupy Buffalo, Inner Occupy. I love that report back from Occupy Sacramento. Check.
Hey, thank you. Okay, Donna, go ahead.
Hi, Donna from Occupy San Diego. And I, too, am amazed at just that whole flurry of activity and speakers, and things are being pulled together. It's awesome. I don't really have a personal thing to add right now other than I'm wondering if at some point someone can cover where I can find, because I'm on my phone only, the Lumio, the Google Hangout, whatever. Is there something a list that has all of our contacts where I can choose the ones I need to go to, because I am still a bit confused, and I apologize about that. I yield.
Okay, thank you, Donna. Jackie, did you want to maybe take Donna in a private room and talk to her about that? Or if you wanted to just go ahead and talk on the call, whichever way you'd like to do that. Sally, go ahead. Your mic's on. Go ahead for intro.
Hi, Sally, Occupy Bergen County, here at home in Woodcliff Lake. Things are looking great. I was at a National Conference for Media Reform where Amy Goodman did a broadcast one morning right from the conference. And, that would be kind of awesome if we could get something like that. Check.
Great. Yes, thank you. Okay, Brother Carter, go ahead for check-ins.
Hi, this is Brother Carter from Occupy Sacramento, the home this year of the National Gathering. And I'm glad that it is coming here. And I want to thank everybody that's supporting it to be here and that are coming here, that I'm going to work effortlessly and to make this, convenient for everybody to come in and be on the right page so that we can move forward. We only have a little time to get something done, but my quote is always, a small drip makes a big puddle in anything you do. So you guys keep on and keep on working and doing what we need to do to get this done. Check.
Okay. Thanks, Brother Carter. And I apologize for the mix-up about the Saturday meeting. All the tables were taken, so we had to move to a different place. But we're going to start reserving tables now, so that won't happen again. Kathy, go ahead for check-ins.
Oh, hi. This is Kathy, Occupy Sacramento. Just ready to work. Check.
Thank you. We need workers. Gandalf, go ahead. Your mic's on.
Hello, Lisa. Hello, everyone. Gandalf here. Looking forward to today. I hope so. I yield.
Great. Thank you. Okay, Delphine, go ahead for check-in.
Yes, hello. Hi, this is Delphine from Occupy Sacramento. I have to start by apologizing for being late with the notes from our initial retreat meeting of Occupy Sac where we brainstormed ideas. We have a longer list of ideas in addition to, and including some of the ones you just heard. So I want to share those with you ASAP, but I've been electronically challenged. I am going to get those typed up and emailed out ASAP. Just been totally swamped. So then the other thing is I have additional ideas for workshops and actions when we get to that, but Breaking the Set is actually, that was mentioned by someone else, it's a show on Russia Today, which is also being, with each show being broadcast on YouTube. But it's not just a YouTube thing. It's a Russian Today TV show, and it is a good show in terms of critiquing many of the problems that Occupy has been protesting for the last 3 years, but it's really not good for, it's totally censored when it comes to the same types of issues and other issues that are happening in Russia. So anyway, just a thought on that. But there's other really good nationally and internationally prominent speakers that I want to recommend. But
great.
In terms of workshop ideas, I'm really hoping, and actions, I'm hoping that we can focus on Indigenous land and water rights and how that ties in with our own struggles against, with Occupy's longer-term struggles on the GMO and fracking and Keystone XL fronts, because it's all very interrelated, and there are regional activists and tribal elders and leaders who we should have present at our gathering, starting with Chief Colleen Fisk, who was mentioned. Thank you.
Yes, definitely. Yes, thank you. Yes, Sally, if you could definitely add those to the notes. And I should mention, you may not have been on the call when I announced this, but we're really going to try to stick to a 90-second rule, except for report backs. Okay, Charlotte, go ahead for check-in.
Well, hi, this is Mike. Charlotte and I are here. We were a little challenged using her login, so we're using this one. Your minutes seem pretty complete from Wednesday, and we're looking forward to enjoying the calls. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Mike.
And
now we have Lou.
Oh, hi, this is Lou from Florida, listening in, and just enjoying what I'm hearing. Check.
Okay, great, thank you. And finally, last but never least, Cal, go ahead for check-ins.
Apparently always last but never least. Seems like I always end up last. It's funny. Cal from InterOccupy, formerly from Occupy Oakland. Let's say a divorcee of Occupy Oakland. That's how I like to say it. And not have much to say right now. Tired. Check.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thanks, Cal, for taking up with Occupy NatGat after being an ex of Occupy Oakland. Okay, let's see if I can stick to the agenda now in the order that it is written. We will continue with report backs. The next group report back would be outreach. If anybody wants to report back for that group, press number 1 on your keypad. Okay, Sally, go ahead.
Well, kind of a negative report back from Tricia and I, who did not manage to coordinate correctly on Tuesday to get on Facebook at the same time, so that Facebook party did not happen. I believe we'll try again next week. And other than that, I've been a little out of the loop, so check.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll be looking forward to the report back when it happens. Next, media. Would anybody like to report back for the media group? If not, the next group we have is finance. Any report backs from the finance group? We're planning quite a good discussion about finance later in the call. Okay, how about the workshops, programs, speakers group? Hold on, we've got Jackie. Go ahead, Jackie.
No, that's all right. You said it. We'll talk more about it later, but I did want to put one plug in that not too many people. There's like 11 people on the finance list, and only 4 of us so far have talked, me, Sally, Delphine, and Janet. And Janet's now going to be out of it. Well, she'll be guidance. So if anybody else is interested in finance, please, get on the list. Because my intention is to pretty much back off. I wanted to get things going as like an admin person, but I really was hoping not to stick with finance through the whole thing. So just so folks know, and join in. Check.
Okay. Thank you. Cal, go ahead.
Oh, so this is for the workshops and speakers group. I did, as I mentioned near the end of last week's call, I was going to hand off the scheduling of the first call to somebody else, and that's been done. We still haven't converged on a time yet. I thought we were close, but apparently we ended up with a last-minute snag, so we still don't have a call scheduled. That's about all there is to report on that. Check.
Okay, thank you, Cal. And finally on the list, Sally, go ahead, Sally.
That's a very small group, and I'm wondering, given the problems that we have had with organizing a call, whether we should just work by email so that we can kind of get moving and collaborating with All Streets and the Guru. So I want to suggest that, and I'll take that to that little list. Check.
Okay, all right, and we'll see how those folks feel about that. A lot of different ways to organize. Sally, let me go ahead and turn your mic back on. Do you have any report backs from All Streets, and will they have anyone on the call today?
Okay. Blah blah. Let me see. I did send an email to the list earlier with some of the stuff that I found on Twitter that they have been sending. I did also tweet to them, please get on the call for a little while. I don't know whether, in fact, they will be doing that. I hope so. But they put out another nice draft video, just as I think, was it Tricia who put out they're new two draft promo videos. And, so look for that email, and there's some links to some of the work they've done. Check.
Okay, great. And you've got twinkles from Donna on that. Nikki from Palm Springs. I can't remember if I had you do check-in yet. Go ahead, Nikki.
Yeah, I checked in. I just jumped back on while Cal was speaking, and then the next speaker said something about a guru, and that kind of just made the hair on the back of my head go up. Anyway, over.
Okay, I think guru is just another word for guidebook or the PAMF book.
I didn't know we had one. Cool.
Okay, thanks. Okay, Jackie, go ahead.
I actually put that up for the next report back if we're done with All Streets.
Okay. If anybody has anything more to report back from All Streets, go ahead and press number 1. If not, we will go to admin and or tech. Go ahead, Jackie. I don't see any
okay.
hands up.
Great, and actually both, admin and tech. The folks that read emails probably saw my emails. I sent around some admin tasks that are available It's just really getting overwhelming. There's a lot of back-end stuff, keeping track of all these pads, docs, emails, etc. And pretty much me, and Sally jumps in once in a while. There's also our public-facing email that had 4 people, and I spent like 5 hours on it last weekend because it doesn't look like anybody's touched it in a while. I know All Streets goes in and takes out contact info, but nobody's like keeping it up. So there's hundreds of just junk in there. So anybody that wants to do any admin work, get a hold of me or read the emails or look at the table of contents. There's an admin tasks spreadsheet that has all the different things we have to do. Then also I wanted to mention tech. I'm not quite sure. I haven't had a chance this week to reach out to the tech group, but I noticed that Dallas has withdrawn from all our lists. And he was really, I don't want to say the main tech person. Well, I think he was. There's Chip from Detroit was doing some stuff early, but haven't heard from him in a while. And Nathan in Sacramento, but there was only those 3. So if we have any techies or anybody knows any more techies that want to get on and get the website up and all that, please get a hold of me or go to the page on the hub that has the email list and join the checklist. And that's all. Thank you. Check.
Jackie, is Dallas permanently withdrawing, or is this just a hiatus?
I really don't know. I reached out. I don't want to push. I just said, is anything wrong, or did you get a job? I was thinking, but yeah, I just happened to notice all these unsubscribes, and that's all I know. Check.
That's a big loss. We definitely have to fill that.
It is, and I loved Dallas. He was a very nice, calm, sort of brain in the operation. Jack.
Okay, all right, thank you. One final thing before I let you go. By the way, I see some twinkles from Sally. Jackie, what would you say are your most immediate needs as far as admin? What would you like people to do? What sort of tasks need to be done right away?
Oh boy, it's hard to say because there's just like keeping track of the pads, for one thing. The table of contents, there's a simple little one anybody can do, even with a phone, I think. The table of contents that I set up, and then on the bottom there's in numerical order, and I just started it with putting the titles. Just need somebody to grab titles and put them where they go. Which the list is right on top. Bunch of little things like that. Mostly they're on that task document. But yeah, let me try and get to a little. I did send some out by email too, but they're sort of like gone from my mind at this minute.
Yeah,
I get something together this week and just get it out there on the list to people. But another person would be fantastic. As time goes on, more and more people will write in and say, where do I find this? What do I do about it?
Jackie, we seem to have lost you. We're just getting a very long beep. Let's see. We've got Donna Pirana has a direct response, followed by Sally.
Hi. Yeah, thank you so much. I was just going to say, I'm in this surreal situation now of trying to get out of this apartment for 2 months. It's bizarre, but once I get out of this apartment, which I haven't paid rent at for 2 months, I'm kind of occupying here. It's an issue, but I'm going to be basically mobile because the only thing I'm going to be doing from the time I leave this apartment is until NatGat is basically try to rally the Western United States and do as much as I can to help. So once I get on the road, I'm going to be staying at places that have hot spots where I'll have a lot more access, and I would love to be able to help with some of the things Jackie just mentioned, like keeping track of pads, or even table of contents. Those sound like simple things she said that I'm just letting you know now if no one steps up before I can possibly take those things on to relieve some stress. And I'm so grateful for all the work everyone's doing. I know there's a small group of people here on this call that are doing a lion's share of the work, and so I appreciate it. I see you guys. Much love, and carry on.
Okay, thank you.
I yield.
Thank you, Donna. We're having some technical problems. Jackie, I don't know if you can hear us, but every time I open your mic, I hear nothing but very, very loud beeps. So let me go ahead and put Nikki's mic on. Nikki, go ahead.
Hi, Donna. Just in coordinating with you, I directly message me on Facebook because as you move around, I have places, at least in Los Angeles and out here in the desert, that I can possibly house you and things of that nature. Over.
Okay, great. Thank you. And then finally, Sally. Sally, you had you had your hand up, and you've also got a 5.
Yeah, no, I had the 5 because of the large beep. I didn't know whether everybody was hearing that. Oh, yeah, no, I was just going to say that I had started to move some of those titles down into the numerical list, and, that's the kind of thing I can do in my sleep at night, so check.
Okay, great. All right, let's see. We've got anybody else on? I think that is all. Do we have any more report backs? Go ahead and press a number 1 if there are any more report backs. Jackie, I'm going to try to turn on your mic again, but we get this horrible squeal. Let me try. Jackie, it seems like there's something wrong with your phone line. Daniel, go ahead.
Hi, I'm just here to check. Hi, I'm just here to check in. I came to the call late, 4:30. Daniel Hong, Portland, Oregon. I'm really glad to be back NatGat organizing, as if you guys did not receive a notice, 2 weeks ago I said that I'd be taking a break because I was really busy with StrikeDat Portland here, with hosting the first Editors Assembly, and just saying I'm back, and I'm back for action, and I really want to, I really want to engage with outreach. I want to engage with transportation, and I'm just trying to integrate myself back into this community. Check.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. We always need people who are interested and enthusiastic about working. You got twinkles from Nikki on that. Tricia, you just joined the call, so go ahead and check in.
Hi, everybody. From Tricia from Philly, and I'm calling with the report back from media. I have made a little video, and I want you guys to all see it somehow. So I'm going to see if we want to crowdsource video. That's what I really want to say that we decided to do. Instead of the media team creating videos, we can do it autonomously, and we can try to crowdsource and get other people to do it. But it's not that hard. So if anybody has anything they want me to make, like pictures and things or videos and things, I really want to try to start expanding my skills in that area. So. And the Facebook has 3,800 likes, and the Twitter has 1,029 followers. So that's my report back from media. Check.
Great. Now, Tricia, you said you've already made a video. Can you send it out via the NatGat email list?
Yes. Yeah, I'll do that. I have 2 different versions. So I've posted them on the NatGat YouTube page that Brian had set up, and I'd like to have some original content there for people. And with the, open source music, it's going to be easier, and pictures from the NatGat gatherings. I think that would be fun to work on with people. Check.
Okay, well, great. Thank you. I love it when people take the initiative and then report back on it. That's wonderful. Thank you very much. You got twinkles from Nikki and Donna on that. Couple more hands up. We've got Sally and Daniel. That may be a previous hand up. So Sally, go ahead.
Yeah, hi. I did see Tricia's video. I don't know whether I saw it from a Facebook link or an email or what, but it's excellent. And as I said, All Streets also has a very different video, which is also great. So yeah, keep sending them out. Check.
Oh, okay, great. Will do. Okay, I'm going ahead and putting all the hands down. Anybody else has any more report backs? Press number 1. I don't see any more report backs, but I just want to mention we've got a great call today. I think we've got at least 12 or 13 people on the call. Next item of business is report backs on current pending business. Anybody want to report back on the press release? Press number 1. Okay, maybe the press release has been put on hold for a while. Any report backs on the proposal vision statement? Okay, I don't see anything on that. That's fine. We are just about to that time when we're going to be joined by Elaine from the Alliance for Global Justice. But before we do that, I see 2 hands up. We'll have Tricia followed by Nikki. Tricia, go ahead.
When we read Gandalf and I forget who, I think it was Nancy, and somebody wrote another declaration. There's like 2 different versions that are going on the Lumio, and instead of trying to craft everything into one and try to get people to endorse, why don't we ask people to write declarations and send them and say that we're going to read them at NatGat together. We'll read them to each other. So I was talking to Dallas about that because word on the street is that endorsements, at this point might not mean that much when there's not that many. So that's what I'm saying, outsourcing the declaration. Check.
Okay. Yeah, that might be an idea. I guess it depends on what we want to use it for. I mean, do we want to use it before NatGat? Do we want to use this on our literature? Do we want to put both of them on our website? I'm wondering if at some point we'll need to put this as an agenda item. Okay, we've got Nikki and then Donna. Nikki, go ahead.
I'm just checking in and making sure that the working theme is still Together We Rise. Over.
I certainly hope so myself. We worked very hard to come to consensus on that. And Sally agrees with you. She's got her hand up for Twinkles. Now we've got Donna. Go ahead, Donna.
You know what? I'm sorry. I got distracted. I had a comment, and I forgot. I'll just press 4 again if I remember. I apologize. There's workers all around my house right now, so I'm divided in attention. I apologize.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, just press number 1 or 4 when it comes back. Okay, Jackie is still having technical problems, and hopefully Cal can get that straightened out so we can have her participate. Okay, it is 7:44. Does anybody know if is Elaine just going to call in, or if anybody wants to give me a clue? Okay, thank you. My clue is from Cal. Elaine is not here yet. Okay, well that's fine. We will discuss Lumio first, and then as soon as Elaine comes, we will jump into the discussion about a fiscal sponsor and finance. So it will be a little, I hope that we can get Jackie back in, because I think she is very expert on Lumio, but I know Tricia is also very knowledgeable about Lumio. So I hope all of you have tried out Lumio. I've gotten a message here from Cal. He suggests that we could talk about the new call time while we're waiting. So I will go ahead and turn your mic on, Cal, and it also looks like Jackie has rejoined us. Hooray. So, Cal, you wanted to talk about the new call time. Your mic is on.
Sure. Actually, before we go on, because you were talking about the press release before when Jackie was off the call, if Jackie wanted to say anything about the press release first, since that was already up on the agenda, and then we can go to the call time. Check.
Okay, Jackie, press number 1 if you've got anything to report about the press release. And
I don't know if she can actually press buttons. Okay. All right. Good. All right. Yes. All right. So we had 10 people participate in the doodle, second doodle, to look at specific times between the range of 4 to 8 p.m. Eastern Time, which is 4 to 8 p.m., which is 1 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time, and we had a close race between 2 times that both of which worked for everyone except one person, and the only difference between the 2 was different people had the if need be flag up. One of them slightly edged out the other. So I might suggest we run a runoff between those 2 call times. But the call times that the one that seems to be the top winner just by a nose is Wednesdays at 6 to 8 Eastern Time, which is an hour earlier than we're currently scheduled, 3 to 5 Pacific Time. And the runner-up was right in between, so 6:30 to 8:30 Eastern Time. So we might as well just do a little temp check and see where people are with this in terms of picking which one. So if you favor the now, if you didn't vote in the poll, I guess you can participate anyway. But these were the times that, because there's more people on the call than voted on the poll. But between these 2 times, let's see how we fare. So if you favor the earlier time, that's 1 hour earlier than we currently meet, which is 3 to 6 in the West Coast and 6 to 8 in the East Coast, press the number 2. If you favor it being only a half an hour earlier, which would be 6:30 to 8:30 Eastern Time, 3:30 to 5:30 West Coast time, press the number 3. And if either one works equally well for you and you don't favor one, or there's not much of a difference for you, press the number 4. And if you got something else going on, like neither of those really work for you, press the number 5. I'm not sure what we're going to do with the 5s yet, but let's see where we go with it.
Okay, and Cal, you
Trish,
said for... Oh,
go ahead.
Excuse me, just a slight correction. For the West Coast, you had said 3 to 6, and it's actually 3 to 5 p.m.
Yes, I'm sorry. So the first choice is 3 to 6 West Coast. The second choice is 3:30 to 6. I'm sorry, 3 to 5 West Coast is number 2. 3:30 to 5:30 West Coast is number 3. And for the East Coast, that would be 6 to 8 for number 2, and 6:30 to 8:30 for number 3. And if either one works for you, or you stand aside, press 4. And if something else is going on with you, press 5. Tricia, I see you have a 5 up, so let's hear from you.
Yeah, this Wednesdays just don't really work for me, and so I just able to call in on my drive home here. So so just Wednesdays just don't work for me. But I'm willing to, just come and call in as I can, like I've been doing. So I'm not blocking anything. I just want to let you know that neither of those are really good for me. Check.
Okay. Great. Thank you so much, Tricia. And we haven't heard, I don't see a vote from Jackie or Brother Carter or Charlotte or Lou. If you plan to be on future calls, you might want to weigh in on this. So again, press 2 if you want to back this up to 1 hour earlier. Press the number 3 if you want to back this up to only a half an hour earlier. And press the number 4 if they're equally good or whatever. And press 5 if it doesn't work for you at all.
I think Brother Carter's got a comment. He's got a 1 up. So.
Really? I see. Okay, let's hear from you. Go ahead, Brother Carter.
Okay.
Doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter what the time is, in that I'm going to go with it. So that's why I didn't want to vote on it. I'm open to whatever it is.
Okay. So we'll put you as a 4, meaning either time is equally good for you. All right, great, thanks.
Yeah. All right, thank you.
All right. And Charlotte, I guess this is your first call, so I don't know I don't see a vote from you. But at this point, it looks like we have most people voting that they're equal. We have one person favoring the earlier time and 2 people favoring the later time, the middle one, the one that's half an hour. So let me see who's the 2. I want to find out. Gandalf, I'm going to open your mic. Can you align with it being a half an hour? Oh, I didn't vote. I just realized I didn't vote. And I really should vote because that's going to make this life more difficult because I actually prefer the earlier time. And the reason is because I have a call that comes right after this, and I need a break between them, and this will only give me a half an hour break, but that's okay. Let me find out, first of all, if Gandalf, if you can align with the later time, starting at, let's see, if you're on the West Coast, that would be 3:30. 3:30 West Coast, 6:30 East Coast. Gandalf, can it work for you, or does it not work for you?
I can deal with it.
Yeah. Well, let me try the reverse. Yeah, let me try the reverse since I have more difficulty with the later time, but let's see if the other 2 people who voted 3 can switch. So I'm going to open up, let's see, that's Nikki and who's the other one? Why can't I find the other 3? Delphine, okay. So Nikki, could you make it at the top of the hour instead of a half hour?
I split the baby too. I'm on a half hour with my daughter after she comes home from school, and it gives me a half hour before my city council meeting.
Got it. All right. Thanks for that input. And Delphine, let's hear from you.
I can do either time. I slightly prefer the later time, but I'm flexible.
All right. So so Gandalf, I'm sorry, I completely forgot what you said. I apologize.
I prefer the earlier hour, that I could deal with setting back another half hour.
Right. So where we are at, thank you, Gandalf. Where we are at is that both Gandalf and Delphine could deal with the opposite time, but would prefer the earlier time. And for Nikki, it's actually more difficult because she's got child care issues. So I think let's try and see if we can get alignment on the later time. I'll just deal with it.
Cal?
I'll have to deal with it.
Cal, Lou had a 5 up.
Oh, really? Go ahead, Lou. I didn't see the 5.
Yeah, well, I mean, I kind of like it where it is right now. I mean, I can go later, but not earlier. Was there a later one?
Yeah, what we did was we put out a poll, which I don't know whether you participated in, for large blocks of time, like mid-afternoon, late afternoon, and then evening. And with the time slot of 4 to 8 turned out to be the most, that's East Coast, turned out to be the most prevalently favored one, far above the time slot that this call sits within in the current time. So we just went with dividing up that time slot into every slice we could. That's how we did it. Because it seemed like people did want to move the call earlier. It was just a question of how much earlier.
Okay, well, I don't know. I'm not sure it's going to work.
So the question is, did we just move it a half an hour earlier, Lou? How's that for you?
That's my NBC national news time. I'm glued. So I mean, you can go. I'll vote for an hour earlier and just bow out that half hour. I don't miss the news for anything. That's my job. I've got to watch the news and see what they're brainwashing.
You can't record it and watch it afterwards?
No, I don't know.
Well, so do you want to block this? Because if you can.
No. I'll work with you. Like, just put me down for the hour earlier. And like I said, I'll just come on during commercials during that time. No big deal.
I'm sorry. You say you prefer an hour. You say you prefer an hour earlier to a half an hour earlier.
Right. Or actually, you know what? It doesn't matter to me. Actually, now that I realize I can't go ahead of time. it doesn't really matter.
And you can watch the first half of it.
Yeah.
It doesn't. All right, if it's an hour-long broadcast. The reason I'd have to check in, let me check in with Nikki, because I think Nikki was pretty strong about having a child, having child attendance to take care of. Let's hear from Nikki one more time. Nikki, your mic is open. Just want to check with you one more time on that.
Thanks. I picked up my daughter at 3.
Nikki, you dropped out after the word 3.
There we go. I had mute.
And now you're muted. Now you're completely muted. Oh, she's gone. Whoops. She's gone. Well, we may have to table this until she comes back because Elaine is on the call now. I want to welcome Elaine from the Alliance for Global Justice. If you want to check in and say hey, your mic is open.
Hi. I don't have the back end, so I don't really know who's on this call, but I assume it's the Occupy NatGat organizing team, so I bet there's a few people that I have spoken with. Yeah, so I live in Oakland. I'm with the Alliance. I've been with the Alliance for Global Justice for about 2.5 years now, doing the fiscal sponsorship work. We just recently added, as we grow slowly, the fiscal sponsorship program, we just recently added a new part-time fiscal sponsorship coordinator who many of you might know, and she's in New York, Danielle Cohn with Occupy Wall Street and Occupy Sandy. And so she and I work together to kind of handle the fiscal sponsorship load. So I assume I will be working most closely with you if we do sponsor the 2014 event, but she's also a resource as well. So are there questions that you have for me, or should I just kind of, I know at one point Jackie sent me an agenda, so I don't know if you want to go ahead and ask questions, or if you want me to give an overview of kind of the services that we've provided for the NatGat in the past, or how you want this to go.
Well, first of all, welcome to the call. At this point, we invited you to introduce yourself. We were in the middle of another agenda topic, and there were people with their hands up still. And I did want to, just hold tight for a moment, and then I'll also let you know who's on the call. And for folks who are wondering why I'm still talking and not Lisa, Lisa and I, when we figured out who was facilitating the call, we figured out that I would do this part of it, the finance part of it. So that's why I'm sort of taking over facilitation for just this piece. The way well, first of all, Sally and Donna, you had your hands up at the time that I invited Elaine to introduce ourselves. At this point, if you can remember what you were going to say until we come back to this item after we're done with this, that would be great. And press 2 if you're good with that, because since Nikki's not on the call and she's the one with the child, has to attend to a child, I think we gotta wait for her to show back up on the call. So Sally and Donna, press 2 if you're good with holding your comments until after this. Great, I see the 2s, wonderful. So we kind of figured out how we would want to do this. We had a little chat with Jackie and me and Lisa. This is for Elaine's benefit. I think Jackie's going to set up well, first I'm going to find out who is ready, who has prepared themselves to discuss this. And as soon as I start talking, Nikki's back on the call. I feel like we should handle this really quickly and get it done. So Elaine, I'm sorry to indulge you for a little bit more patience. We stuck this in while we were waiting for you to show up. Nikki, you have the mic. What I was doing was asking you to clarify your position again.
This is my position. I pick my daughter up from school at 3 o'clock. I used to have an hour with her. Now I will have a half hour with her before getting on the call at 4. I get an extra half hour right before my city council meeting at 6. But I occupy Palm Springs City Council every other week. So I would be cool to by 3:30 one week on the city council weeks, and then 3 o'clock on the non-city council weeks.
Okay.
Over.
So sounds like 3:30 works better than 3. Am I understanding that?
In general, yes, but not necessarily on the weeks I don't have city council meeting. I don't care.
Yeah. I think we can't have it be different times on different weeks, so I'm going to ask you to choose.
I would say 3:30 then.
Okay. So this is for everybody on the call now. If you can align with having this call move a half an hour earlier, press the number 2. If you are not aligned with having this call and want to block, specifically to block, press the number 3. And if you stand aside, press the number 4. This is moving the call back to start 1/2 hour earlier, which would be 3:30 on the West Coast, 6:30 on the East Coast. Press the number 2 if you can align with it. Press the number 3 if you want to block. Press the number 4. If you block, that means we stay where we are. And press the number 4 if you stand aside. All right. I don't see any blocks. I'm looking for a vote from Lou and a vote from Tricia. Well, Tricia, this doesn't work for you either way, so you don't need to vote. But you also said you wouldn't block. All right. I see everybody except Charlotte voting, and there are no 3s. There's 9 2s and 3 4s. So it looks like we are changing the call. Jackie, if you could get that call setup changed starting next week to move it a half an hour early, that would be super. And Twinkle, if you're going to take care of that. And whoops, all the hands I put all the hands down and they all just went back up. That's very strange. All right, putting the hands down again for the second time. And Jackie, if you can change that call time on the setup, just press 2 to Twinkle. So back to the finance. Thank you all. It was a long, protracted process to move the call 30 minutes earlier, but I think that helps at least some people. So as far as the finance thing is concerned, what I was going to ask first of all, if people have done their homework. And if you have either read whatever material is there for this and are prepared to discuss this finance proposal, came to this call prepared to discuss this, then press the number 2. If you are not prepared and are going to likely be asking a lot of questions because it's not clear to you what we're doing, press the number 3. Those are probably the best options. So if you're ready to discuss it, press 2. And if you're either not ready to discuss it or you are not, and we're going to go over what it is. It's not like we're going to tell you, we expect you to remember. Jackie's going to set it up. Then we're going to have a Q&A session with Elaine, and then we'll have it be a proposal, probably from Jackie, and then we'll vote. That's the way we'll do this. So again, if you've either read the material or you're came ready to discuss this, press the number 2, and if you're not, press the number 3. A lot of people have not voted yet, as far as I can tell. Nikki, Daniel, Donna, Brother Carter, Gandalf, and Lou all have yet to weigh in. All right, I see a number 3 from Gandalf. Donna and Brother Carter are the only 2 left. So press number 2 if you're ready to discuss this. Press number 3 if you don't feel you have enough context. And Brother Carter. Donna, I see you put up a 4. I'm not sure what the 4 is. I'll open your mic. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think that in the time we're taking this vote, we could have had it explained. So I don't want to vote either way. I just want to get on with it. Thank you. I yield.
Okay. Gotcha. I'll just share with everybody the reason I wanted to do this, and we'll probably be doing this for most of our, especially the written proposals, is that it takes up a lot of call time if people haven't actually come to a call prepared. But since most everybody is, it looks like a good sign for us to proceed, especially with Elaine having taken the time to come here. But we've had a number of these things where they've come up and people don't even know what the proposal is. So if we had a preponderance of 3s, then we might actually have to reschedule this because because it would just take too long. But we're not there. I just wanted to explain the facilitator process for this. So let's hear from. We don't need to hear from anybody at this point because we are going to explain it. Jackie, do you want to tee this off by telling us what this is all about and what it is that we're going to be considering for proposal?
Okay. And can you hear me? Okay, great. This is weird for me because I'm talking on a cell phone and I'm looking at the board with the computer. My Google Voice would not let me come back in. I don't know why. Welcome, Elaine. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate your time. And for the rest of us, so we've been sending out emails. This has been on the agenda for months. Been sending emails around the finance pad, which is pad number 49. And there is also a document, fiscal sponsor info. The same info is on the finance pad if you open that one up. And then it also is on Lumio in our Occupy National Gathering group as a discussion first, and then yesterday I put the proposal up. Okay, so there's a couple of parts to this. Let me see how to start. Number one, I think the discussion tonight is this is only about fiscal sponsorship. There's other finance pieces we need to get in place, like, who's going to use independent fundraising sites and stuff like that. So we need to choose, whether to have a fiscal sponsor or not. And the second part is to choose a fiscal sponsor. Well, right now it is just AFGJ. Those who might not have seen emails this week, Janet withdrew. She did get her 501c3. But they have so much going on with the Pueblo House and other properties that they just got and are going to renovate. So she decided to step down and I don't know if I'd say recommend AFGJ. She said yes. She said AFGJ will take good care of you. So those were our two choices for fiscal sponsorship. Okay, the proposal is to use AFGJ as a fiscal sponsor for NatGat 3 General Donation Fund. Budget decisions to come out of the general fund to be decided by the whole NatGat group. This would be items like food, ground necessities, supplies not met elsewhere. And then info and links are on the pad. I'm not sure how much else to say. We have to go through these two steps, but perhaps thinking of Elaine's time, we could just stop and ask the questions now. I'm sure one of them is, why should we have a fiscal sponsor? I know in Occupy we try to do everything on the volunteer, and that's great, except it's always very hard to get people involved with finance. It's something you have to make a long-term commitment to. You have to follow it from, day one through to after NatGat. And it doesn't, at least the groups I've been in, it's awfully hard to get people to do that. So last year we went with the Alliance for Global Justice, and yes, there's a fee, but I think it's well worth it. And they are a small collective. Elaine can tell you more about that, but they just have a few people, sort of like us, even smaller, and they have been dealing with social and economic justice groups for 20 some odd years on, different name first and then on to what it is now. So I guess I'll be quiet, and if anybody wants me to clarify more, otherwise we can move to questions. Or maybe we should have Elaine explain first. I'm not sure. Check.
Okay, thank you so much, Jackie. Your connection's more garbled than we usually hear you. Obviously, you're not on a headset. But one thing that you said that I'm not sure everybody was clear, that the only thing we're considering tonight is the finance proposal for the fiscal sponsorship. There are many other aspects of finances that we're not dealing with tonight. This is just about the fiscal sponsorship. The next thing I wanted to do is, Elaine, I promised I'd tell you who was on the call. There are 14 of us from the National Plannering Group, and they are Sally from New Jersey, Nikki from Southern California, Daniel from Oregon, Donna from Southern California, Brother Carter, and then Kathy, Lisa, Gandalf, and Delphine, all from Occupy Sacramento, which is the host Occupy for this national gathering, as well as Charlotte and Lou and myself, Cal. So those are the 13 of us who are on this call besides you. And let's see, Lisa, you have your hand up before we turn it over to Elaine for Q&A. Did you want to say something?
Oh, actually, it was. We'll go in the Q&A. I yield.
Okay, great. So let's open it up to Elaine. Given that you've heard Jackie's introduction, is there anything you want to add or clarify before we open it up for people to ask you questions? Jack.
No, thanks for the introduction. That was probably just as much as I would have said. I can talk about the services that we offer as a fiscal sponsor and maybe some of the limitations, if that would make sense. Jackie put together really good, in this fiscal sponsor info, she put together really good background. So it's really, I don't have much to add to what she's already put out there. Our fiscal sponsorship fee is 7%, and that goes to into all of the banking fees that we pay, the credit card fees. There are no additional fees to accept online donations. We do all of the IRS reporting and the reports to your donors that the IRS requires, and so that's for any individual or any foundation that gives $250 or more. We have a way for you, we can set up an individualized donate page that we, the one that I can set up is, fairly straightforward. And then if there's anyone who knows any coding, HTML, we can make it more advanced. I can work together with that person to, add additional features. We do weekly donation reports. And if you have your own donate page, you can get those notifications to happen instantly, and then you'll get like a cumulative report every Friday. So that's any checks or anything we receive at our office, and then anything that comes in for you online. And then we do a monthly account statement, and it's just basically an overview of all of your revenue, all of your income, and then the fiscal sponsorship fee, and then anything that you've requested. So any, reimbursements, or if you ask us to pay a vendor, we can pay vendors directly. Let's see, we can work directly with, if you have foundations that you're going to be requesting funds from, we can work directly with them to get them the information that they need, or through you, and we can provide, and then you can provide that information to the foundation. We are applying for, we are registered as a nonprofit in DC. So since sales tax is a state tax, that's the only place we currently have sales tax exemption. We're applying for it in Florida, but that wouldn't really make a difference to you. I haven't looked into sales tax exemption in California, so that might be an option if it would be useful to what to have, since it'll be in Sacramento, and see if that might be a possibility. Some states require you to be registered in that state in order to receive the exemption, and some states don't. And so how we've done it in the past, and with other groups, is that I generally work with a small finance crew, or have one contact, and then I would just and then all the communication could either be passed through that one person, or we could have like a small committee to work with. And it's gone pretty smoothly in the past. And any feedback on how last year's event went would be welcome. I think that's all I have, but I would definitely be open for questions if anyone, if they need further explanation, or something I didn't cover. Check.
Thank you so much, Elaine. And I was going to remind you to say check, but you remembered. So I'm going to leave your mic open throughout all of this. You got twinkles from Jackie, and by the way, Jackie, you got twinkles from Sally earlier. So if you have questions, go ahead and press the number 1. I'm going to call on Nikki first because before I called on Elaine, you had your I didn't see it until just after she started talking, but you had your hand up with a 4 first, and then we'll go Elaine, followed by Donna, followed by Lisa, followed by Delphine. Okay, Nikki.
Hi. On the introductions, when she asked who is on the call, many of you know my real name is Elaine Claremont, so I just wanted to disclose that. If you want my comments on what she proposed, the issue of the tax exemption only in Washington, D.C. is of grave concern to me. And if we can get it here in California, that would be imperative for me to continue. Over.
I didn't hear the last part. It would be imperative to
for me
what?
To continue with this. If we, I don't mind using a fiscal sponsor like you. I think wonderful, twinkle fingers and all that. The issue I have has to do with the taxation thing. And it being only in the Washington, D.C., which is the corporate issue of the United States of America, as I see it, and therefore, if the Republic of the State of California, the State of California as a republic, can have its own tax exemption for us, that would be awesome, but I am sure you will have to register here to get it.
Yeah, and the process in Florida that I just went through was like a 10-minute thing, and I just printed off a form and mailed it in, and I really am not sure how long it'll take. So it's something that I can look into in California. It definitely could be as simple as just filling out a form and sending it in, but it could be the case that it's not possible at all. So that's something that I can look into and then follow up with Jackie this week.
Yes, thank you for informing me, because somebody who considers herself a sovereign and an indigenous person has a really big issue with that whole Washington, D.C. thing. Over.
Okay, I guess that completes that one. Let's move on to the next one. Let's see, we had Donna followed by, what did I say? Donna followed by, I'll come back to it. Just Donna next. I'll figure out who's next after Donna speaks. Go ahead, Donna.
Yes, thank you, Elaine, for being on our call and for that explanation. My questions are, first of all, I just want to understand whether you're going to be actually on the ground, or are you going to be a virtual financial person? And Cal mentioned earlier that this would not be for all of our financial dealings. So perhaps, Elaine, you're not able to answer this, but if someone else could just kind of give an idea of what this wouldn't cover. It's my opinion, my own preference would be that one person just takes care of all the money, because that just makes it simpler, but I yield.
Yeah.
So Donna, I think I can answer that, because Donna, I think what Jackie meant was not that it's not covering all the finances, but that all we're addressing tonight is whether is the issue of the fiscal sponsorship itself. And we're not talking about the kitchen budget tonight. We're not talking about other proposals that are related to finance. We're just talking about what the fiscal sponsorship is going to be. Does that clarify it for you, Donna?
No.
No. Okay.
No. I mean,
let me open up.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Elaine, and then if.
Yeah, just if Elaine could maybe respond, and then I'll see. I apologize.
Okay. Elaine?
Yeah. So I'm located in Oakland. Just coincidentally, I would definitely go to the event, but the fiscal sponsorship is our bank is where our headquarters are located in Tucson, Arizona. We moved from DC, where we'd been for 25 years, and we now just have our accountant in DC, and the rest of our staff is dispersed. So for fiscal sponsorship, it's mostly email communication and sometimes over the phone. So that's how a lot of it would, that's how, we would, take care of your withdrawal requests or check requests, or, all of the donation reports would be via email. So I wouldn't actually, I would probably go, but I wouldn't, there's probably no reason for me, there would probably be no need for me to be actually there for the event for fiscal sponsorship purposes. Check.
Okay, thank you, Elaine. Thank you, Elaine. And Jackie also had a response. I was going to call on her anyway. Go ahead, Jackie.
Okay, yeah, and Elaine can clarify this, but to I think it was Nikki's question. I think we're talking about two different things. I think Elaine said they don't have a sales tax exemption. That doesn't mean that donation, any donation from anywhere over $250 is tax exempt. I think she's talking specifically about goods that we'll go and buy, and you could get a sales tax exemption. The other thing I wanted to clarify for Donna, when I put, how did I put this language? The general fund is for the things we need on the ground. That'll include things like food, supplies, I can't think of anything else off the top of my head, ground necessities. We talked all along, and like I said earlier, there's not that many people in finance, that independent groups, like for instance the Caravan, should set up their own independent fundraising. We can get all these links onto, the same page so that people, in fact, people like that better. Then they have a choice. Do you want to give money? That'll go to AFGJ for the general fund. Do you want to give money just to this account for the Caravan? And the one reason for wanting those separate is, again, not having the people on the ground to decide all these things. And every single Occupy and even these small online groups, it winds up being large, enormous discussions. Who doesn't want this and who doesn't want that? So I think it's really a good idea to have special projects like that, like the Caravan, for instance, raise their own money, and then they can deal with that. And this general fund that I'm talking about is for ground necessities. They can cover a lot of things. I hope that clarifies. Check.
All right, Jackie just made it in front of the bell. Donna put up a twinkle, so it seems like that's clarifying some of the things. We have a couple more responses to that. Sally, you were the first one with your hand up. Next one with your hand up. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say what Jackie just did, so check.
All right, I had a feeling that was the case. I'm going to call you and Jackie the twins. Nikki, you have your hand up as well with a response.
Direct response to Jackie, yeah, we do. I think we are discussing two things, although I would clarify them differently. I have an issue with a corporation who goes to the District of Columbia to get their tax exemption, and they don't get one from any of the 450 states. So on that very fundamental level, having said that, so therefore I would just not do business with somebody with that mindset. Having said that, don't know these people from Adam. If everybody else likes their energy and is good to work with them, I will not oppose anything. Over.
All right, thank you there, Nikki. And now we have no more direct responses, so we're ready for more questions or comments. And you got twinkles there, Nikki, from Jackie. So in order, it's Lisa, Delphine, Kathy, and Gandalf. So Lisa, you're up.
Okay. Yes, I have a couple questions for you, Elaine. The first one is which banks can we use in connection with you? Can we use local banks or credit unions so we don't have to support the big banks? I yield.
Yeah, well, there's a few ways we can do this. A lot of times, we haven't set up a bank account before with NatGat, and most of our fiscally sponsored projects don't have bank accounts, and that's because we can do a number of things. We can pay vendors directly, and we can do reimbursements if someone uses their own money to rent a facility or something and need to reimburse for that, we can do that. And we can also do it like that in advance. So like you're going to be needing to rent a kitchen or something, you can send a check request for that, and we can get you that money. We can get you the money in a variety of ways. We can send it we can wire it, and we can send a check. So you can also, it's something that we can consider is having you open a bank account in our ID, using our tax ID number. There's just a little bit more that we would have to do, and it has to be approved by our board for you to be to open a bank account. So it's a little bit more of a complicated process. But if it's something that we can make a good case for, then we can go ahead with that. It's just oftentimes you don't really need a bank to function as function for your purposes, but you may.
If we wanted to link it to the Occupy Sacramento bank account, could we do that, or does that somehow nullify the nonprofit status? I yield.
No, that's absolutely a possibility. So we could, have that direct connection. If you already have a bank account, that's perfect, and we can wire the money there. We can do it, on an automatic basis, so the money just actually lives in your account. So if we can make a withdrawal every week or something and just send the money to your bank account, and then you just, keep the records on your end of the receipts and the bookkeeping on your end, and then how we report on spending is through quarterly reports. So at the end of NatGap, since it'll happen in August or September, is that right? In August, you would complete the third quarter report for us, and that would just describe how you spent the money in a narrative form. It's just how we stay in compliance with the IRS. It's not very detailed, and so that's why it's important for you to keep receipts. It's just a way that we stay in compliance with the requirements of the IRS.
Okay, great. Thank you. And my second question was, you say you handle tax matters. You mentioned that sending receipts to donors. Does it involve, are we going to be obligated to fill in any forms for the IRS, or do you do that? Or what does handle tax matters mean?
So that's so we report on our income. Our nonprofits do their tax filing is the 990, and so and that's why all the money has to come through us. We can't set up you can't deposit directly into a separate account and it be tax exempt. The money comes through our accounts and then we transfer it to you. So we account for all of that in our annual 990. And additionally, any donor who gives $250 or above, in order to file it on their taxes, has to have a letter from the organization that they gave the money to. So we take care of all of that. Anything under $250 doesn't require, the IRS doesn't require this receipt. So if you accept cash donations, and someone wants a receipt, you can feel free to just give it to them directly, unless it's $250 or above, and then you would just direct them to us for the receipt. So those are the two things that are specific to the IRS filings that we do.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you for those questions there, Lisa. And we have next Delphine, followed by... I lost track of his name. By Kathy. Delphine, followed by Kathy.
Yes, hello. Thank you so much, Elaine, for this presentation. And I'm personally very impressed with all that I've heard about the work that AFGJ is doing. I have some questions that I see many benefits to this that I think are obvious most on the call, and that have to do with our ability to fundraise even if we don't end up succeeding, I mean, and I appreciate also Elaine's willingness to look into California sales tax exemption for donations below the $250 level where it's tax exempt. But my question has to do with particularly setting up an accounting account on software such as QuickBooks. That was something that was included in the package that OTR was offering, which of course is off the table now. And I think a QuickBooks account would be very beneficial for our finance work group this year because of the fact that we are small and not very experienced, it seems. And so it would help us be organized and fully transparent. And I think transparency is going to be paramount for us both within the planning group and potentially later if we get any questions about how we've managed the funds. So that's my question having to do with QuickBooks and other transparency matters. But it sounds like, I mean, the weekly reports are already a good start from that. Check.
Yeah. The first thing I wanted to say was I think I created more confusion than I meant to when I was talking about the tax exempt. And just to reiterate what Jackie had clarified, the sales tax exemption, like she said, is just for if you need to go purchase supplies. I think sales tax in California is like 9% or something. You wouldn't have to pay that on those supplies. So it's just when you're making purchases, any rentals that you do, and like real estate tax or something, I think is sometimes included in that. But any donor that gives to Occupy NatGat through us, that's a tax exempt donation, tax deductible donation for the donor, whether it's $250 or under, or no matter the amount. Then the issue with the QuickBooks question, we have access to it's a nonprofit itself. It's called TechSoup, and it's where nonprofit organizations have access to donated software, and sometimes, and they charge a fee on providing the service, but usually, I mean, like to get the, but I know that they have QuickBooks. I'm not sure how much their administration fee is, but it's usually you can at least get 60% off of how much it normally costs. Now that's saying that you'll need, if QuickBooks is something that someone wants to take responsibility for doing, we have our accountant in DC. He uses QuickBooks, and that's what the monthly statements are. We give a general or an overview income and expense report, and then we also can do detailed income and expense reports, which is just so your total, it just explains what the overview amounts are. So but I could definitely understand how it would be useful to you to have someone who's keeping your own records. That's probably important for any organization functioning. But I can also provide kind of an example of what both of those look like to see what exactly, like the level of detailed accounting you would need to see if there's someone there who can maintain your own bookkeeping. And I think, did I answer all your questions?
Yeah, although I mean, in terms of our own resources and bookkeeping, I don't believe we. And I could be mistaken, but I'm not aware that we have anyone who could really fill in as an in-house bookkeeper and get us set up on a QuickBooks account on their own. But I could be wrong. I'm just thinking it would be a great resource for us since we have a short turnaround time before the NatGat. Chuck.
And I can directly respond to that too, if that's okay. So yeah, the reporting that we do is just is direct. So if all withdrawal requests will be reflected in the monthly statement, and all income will be reflected in the monthly statement. So you will get a full picture of your account and what has happened with your account through each month. The bookkeeping is more specific to how you spend the money. So say $100 comes in and that money is supposed to go to a certain fund. How you spend the money would be what you decide to do with the bookkeeping on your end. So it's the distinction between bookkeeping and accounting, I guess. And I'm sure, all Occupy groups that we've worked with have had an incredible bookkeeping or finance team that has kept incredible records. So I'm sure there's someone there, and maybe Jackie was the one who did it last year, but who's on top of the bookkeeping, if that makes sense. Check.
Okay, are we complete with this item, Delphine?
Well, I guess I'll just have to ask Jackie and others the question later in the finance group. It seems that I missed either a call or some online discussion about it. So check.
Yeah, got it. Okay. Originally, Sally had a response, but she changed it to a 1, so my assumption is it's been answered by somebody. I also should have set this up in the beginning. There's lots and lots and lots of questions we could be asking people. I'm not saying that anyone's question hasn't been valid so far, but the questions we should be asking are the questions that you need to have answered in order to be able to vote to decide this about the fiscal for sponsorship today. Other questions that are interesting or curious, we can be held for some other time, but because we have so many people on the stack and there's so many questions, let's make sure that every question we ask is a question you need answered in order to be able to vote on this particular proposal. So next we have Kathy, followed by Gandalf, followed by Brother Carter, followed by Nikki. I think that's the order I've got. Kathy.
Okay. Thanks. Listed in your services offered, you have Connect to Fundraising / Grant Networks. So you have a list of places we can fundraise from, and you'll hook us up. How does that work? Over.
I don't know. Oh, I guess that's on Jackie's list of what we provide. I don't know if she got that off the website or where she got that, but what we do have is a subscription to the Foundation Center, and so if there was someone, so I could work with someone to provide access to that. It doesn't pay. It's a huge database of foundations and families that give money, and you just kind of search around to see if there are any that that fit your criteria, that you fit their criteria. Yeah, and groups have had varying amounts of success on that. That's really the only service that we provide in terms of connecting you to fundraising and networks. We ourselves we held a Tear Down the Walls event last year in Tucson, and we actually got it. We applied for quite a few grants and didn't get any for the event. And I don't know if that's just because of the nature of our organization or what it was exactly, but I think you all might be more skilled at that than we are. It's something that we're trying to explore in our next year. So that's really the one resource that we could provide.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you for that question, Kath. We are We are now at the 20-minute mark before the end of the scheduled end of the call time, and so I'd like to close Stack at this point. Who we have on it, just to let you know, is Gandalf, Brother Carter, Nikki, Jackie, Lisa, and Sally. There's almost everybody left, with more than half the people left on the call. So if you have another question, you got about 15 seconds to put yourself on the stack. Otherwise, I'm just going to consider that the list. Let's continue with who was I say was next. It was Gandalf followed by Brother Carter. Go ahead, Gandalf.
How germane this is. I just was wondering, is there going to be a mechanism for media outreach to nationalize and advertise the financial needs of the NatGut? I mean, how are people going to know, how are the American people going to know that we need financial support? I yield.
I'm not
that might be a fundraising question. That is really hard work, and it's something we have. The Alliance for Global Justice has program work too that we do. That's tapping into other networks and listservs that you have, and figuring out how to fundraise online. And I don't know if you'll do direct mail fundraising or what the fundraising team will look like, but I would work directly probably with the fundraising and finance team. But maybe someone else can directly respond to that better than I could.
I would say I was going to say this sounds like an internal matter for us on the planning group to discuss, and maybe with some of our working groups. Doesn't sound like an AFJG question. AFGJ question. So I think we should probably hold off on that and ask it when we're not on the phone with Elaine. I guess, Gandalf, do you need to know the answer to that question in order to be able to vote on the proposal?
No.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Brother Carter, followed by Nikki. Brother Carter.
Okay, Lisa pretty much asked the questions that I was going to ask. My only thing is that here in Sacramento, I'm on one of the people that is on the finance board or committee that we have here, and that sustain account that we have would be mutual to this conversation, so that we wouldn't have to go through all of the rigmarole of changing things. So one of the people that I was hoping to be on the call was Linda Roberts, because she's also on the finance, and I said I would commit to help out of the finance group. But the only thing is, my plate is so full right now, and I don't want to be stressed out, but I'm there if needed. So that, and also that account is available if needed, because that's what it's for, to try and transfer funds in so where we can directly move them into the things that we're setting up here, so we can have a domino effect of making sure everything is secure and working. Check.
Yeah, unfortunately, Brother Carter, Linda doesn't participate in these calls. She really dislikes conference calls, so she hasn't been on them. And she's actually started to email the group more frequently, which is helping, but she doesn't come on the calls. Check. If there's anybody else that has a response to you, Brother Carter, please press number 4.
Okay.
All right. Anything else, Brother Carter?
No, that's it. Check.
Okay, thank you so much. And next up we have Nikki, followed by Jackie. Nikki, where are you? There you are. Go ahead.
Cal, can you clarify the question one more again? And then I have a question.
Which question are you talking about?
The question that's going to be voted on, and then I have a question I need to ask.
Okay.
Over.
Well, I thought we would do that when we were finished with the questions, and then because we were going to do that before we vote. But I'll open up Jackie's mic for that one. Go ahead, Jackie. She just wants a reiteration of what we're voting on. Oops. Sorry, Jackie. Hold on. Here we go. Try again. Keep
Okay.
Right, there we
I'm
go.
self-muting. I'm self-muting, Cal, so you don't need to to unmute me. Okay, the way the proposal is written, I mean, we can, after we're done with the discussion and let Elaine go, we can always amend the proposal. I said proposal to use AFTJ as fiscal sponsor for NatGet 3 General Donation Fund. Budget decisions to come out of the general fund to be decided by the whole NGWG. This would be items like food, ground necessity, supplies not met elsewhere. Check.
Okay, thank you. I guess my question is, I have no problem with any of that. I think that's a wonderful idea. My question is, in listening to the presentation, there was a moment where Elaine said, and I got to go into my meeting, and I probably, you know, this is, I'm about transparency, so I'm going to say this in front of you, honey. You know, she said, I live in Oakland, and so, yeah, I could be there. And then she thought about it, and she said, you know, as a fiscal sponsor, I don't have to be there. And so I guess I just want a fiscal sponsor that not only wants to be there, but wants to be expanding there. And so I understand why somebody would give that answer, because we're not trying to be transparent, but I would also like that everything is on the web. All the donators, who's donating, who's sponsoring us, their name's up there, who's getting paid, who's doing stuff, right on, pay them. Everything should be just on the web and transparent and open, and I'll twinkle fingers for whatever you guys decide. You obviously know the players more intimately than I do. This is just my feedback, and my question is, do you want a fiscal sponsor where their representative came and thought about something and said, no, I guess I don't have to be there? And we're trying to bring people in. Anyway, going into my meeting, I know you guys will make the right decision, and whatever's over, out, bye.
Yeah, Nikki, before you leave, I think I'll just say that I don't believe they've come to the events in the past necessarily, and it's absolutely been fine. Then not to negate the desire and what you're saying at all, I'm just expressing another perspective. Then that's the perspective of what we've actually done in the past. Don't want to influence anybody one way or the other with that comment. I'm not intending to do that. Check. Next up is Lisa, followed by Sally. Go ahead,
okay,
Lisa.
Thank you. I just wanted to ask if there are any other fees or percentages in addition to the 7%. And like for example, do we need to set up a PayPal account or something similar that's a lot cheaper? I yield.
Yeah, there are no other additional fiscal sponsorship fees. So we pay, unless you do use, I mean, I guess WePay doesn't exist anymore, but we pay all of the credit card charges. There's no fee to set up the donate page because we're able to do that in-house now. We used to have to, pay someone to do that for us. And so anything, we don't actually use PayPal because for political reasons they actually held $75,000 of Occupy Wall Street's money, and so we broke all ties with PayPal. But if there are crowdfunding sites that you use, like Indiegogo or Kickstarter, I think they have fees to run your campaign on their site, which would be, so that's just anything, if you choose to do that, that would be in addition to the 7%.
Okay.
Yeah, check.
Okay, thank you. That answers my question. Thanks.
All right, Lisa, thank you. And next we have, who did I say was next? Uh-oh. There's too many things happening on the staff chat. Sally, I believe. Oh, Sally's gone. So that ended the stack. Well, actually, we have hands back up again. So I thought we had closed the stack, but let's give it another couple minutes. I don't know what to do because we're going to run off the end of the call and not be able to vote on anything. Let me check with Jackie. Are we still attempting to vote on something tonight? Because if we don't have to worry about doing it before 9 o'clock. Jackie, whoops, sorry, I unmuted you. Go ahead and do yourself again. Jackie.
I'm trying to unmute. There we go. Oh, well, I don't know. I mean, we may have to vote next week unless people want to clarify. But I also want to say that, yeah, Sally was next on Stack, and I've been on Stack since like 10 people ago. Check.
Right. Oh, yeah, I had you on the list. For some reason, you didn't get onto the list. All right, so you'll be next because you were on the list.
Okay.
We have two other people who put their hands up, Kathy and Brother Carter. I thought Kathy had gone already, but maybe I missed her. Let's go Jackie, Kathy, and then Brother Carter. Go ahead, Jackie.
Oh, I'm sorry. I think Sally was first, though.
Sally's not on the call.
Oh, she's still on my board. Okay.
Oh, really?
All right.
Well, wait a minute. If she's still on your board, then maybe you should open up her mic and see if she can talk, because I'm not seeing her. She would be next.
Sally, can you talk? Sally?
Yes, can you hear me? I can hear you.
Yeah, there she is. Okay.
Okay, I've been madly pushing numbers. We did, in fact, have someone from AFGGA last year. Bruce came, kept the PAMF book alive, and was very helpful to us. The fact that somebody doesn't have to be there doesn't mean they don't want to be there, and frankly, that's a technical answer. I guess my only question is, I'm assuming there are like no wire transfer fees, and that if we're going to connect to an account, I know Occupy Sandy, New Jersey had a hard time opening an account, but if there's one already existing, I'm assuming that's different? Check.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I was relieved to hear that that Occupy Sacramento had an account. So we can just work directly with that existing account. And there are no wire transfer fees right now, and that's something that we're going to be discussing at our board meeting in August. So I guess it wouldn't matter until the next Occupy NatGat. I think that our bank charges like $20 for a wire transfer, so we prefer to do check requests. But if it's urgent and you need the money, then we definitely do the wire transfer, and there's no fee for the project to do it. There might be a fee to accept the wire transfer, so that would be something to look into. I know my bank charges $10 if to send a wire to myself, or to accept a wire transfer from somebody else, so that's something to look into. Check.
All right, Sally, does that cover it for you?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
All right, thanks. We're having more technical problems with Jackie and others, who was on the stack next, but since she had to hang up and dial back in again, let's go to Kathy, followed by Brother Carter. If you could make these short, since I had already closed stack before these hands went up, that would be great. Kathy?
Yes, sorry, I did have a question before. This a quick question. Would we be able to get a credit card? That would be a simple way to get the money over. You could get a debit card through the existing Occupy Sacramento account, but not through us. We have a bank. We have one central bank account, so all of our money, has to come out via. We have to withdraw it via check or wire transfer. Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And also, Kathy, I'll let you know that Sally twinkled down for the idea of having a credit card. So I guess we can discuss that amongst ourselves at some other point. Next, we have Brother Carter. Since Jackie doesn't appear to be back, go ahead, Brother Carter.
Okay, I got to leave the call, but I'm going to answer that question for Kathy. With the with the Occupy Sacramento account, it did come with a card. We do have a debit card, and our thing is we're with the credit union. So so the only thing is we just have to see, what honors are on the back of it. I've never checked that. But other than that, I don't think that should be a big problem. And I understand when they said not using credit cards or debit cards, but sometimes it may come into the form of that because of who are our account. It's all together anyway. But I just want to leave and say I thank everybody for coming on the call, and I'll catch you guys all next week. Everybody stay positive. Let's continue to do what we're doing and continue to make it happen. God bless everybody, and enjoy your afternoon. I'm out. Check.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Brother Carter. And Elaine, there are no more hands up, and we've cleared the stack out. So, and Jackie's not on the call, who's the one who presented the proposal, and I don't have the material she read from in front of her. Lisa, do you have it? In which case, we could go forward with it. Elaine, do you want to stay on while we vote on the proposal, or do you want to scoot?
That's your call.
I'm sorry?
I said that's your call, whatever you prefer. I can hang up now and then be in touch with Jackie if there are no more questions. That's fine with me.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you're welcome to stay. So we'd love to have you. Unfortunately, I don't have the thing in front of me that Jackie read the last time when it was asked to be clarified, and so I can't. I don't have any way to read it. Let's see if we can find it in the notes. I don't know where it is. Lisa, do you have any idea what she read from?
I'm hunting around for it too. If Jackie can communicate with us through staff chat, so why don't we ask her to just email it to you, and then you can. How does that sound, Cal?
Well, I just wrote to her and asked her where it was. Maybe it's on a pad somewhere.
Oh, it just came on the participants' dashboard from Sally.
That's Sally Lumio. Okay. Let's try that and see what happens. How handy.
Thank you, Sally.
Yes, thank you so much. You might be saving this whole thing. I do want to say we have 3 minutes left until the technical end of the call. Wow, I don't know what thing Sally, if you could, Sally, why don't you just read it? Because if you know what it is on there, because there's a lot of stuff on that page. Can you read it, Sally?
Yeah.
The thing that we're supposed to vote on?
Can you hear me?
Because we don't, yeah, go ahead.
Proposal to use AFGJ as fiscal sponsor for the NatGat3 General Donation Fund. Budget decisions to come out of the general fund to be decided by the whole National Gathering Working Group. This will be items like food, ground necessities, supplies not met elsewhere. And then it has the link to the Titan pad. There is currently a 3 yes, 1 abstain on the Lumio vote. Check.
Okay. And I will also say that I heard Jackie say something about amending the proposal. So based on the discussion we just had.
Cal, Jackie said she's going to get her son's phone, so I'm hoping that, in fact, that she'll be able to get back on.
Yeah. Well, as long as before 9 o'clock, the people on the call decide to extend it, I think we might be okay. I'm not sure. We actually have lost 2 or 3 people from the call. So let's see, whom have we lost? Well, we had Brother Carter left. I don't remember who else was here. Wow, my brain. Nikki left. Maybe one other person.
Jackie is
back. 2 I remember. Jackie's back. All right, great, Jackie. So could you, well, first of all, before we do it, since it's 9 o'clock now, I need to ask the group, can we still vote even though it's going to be after 9 o'clock when we actually take the vote? So if you're good with us taking the vote after 9 o'clock, it'll be about 9:02 it looks like, press the number 2, and if you think we should not do that, press the number 3, and if you stand aside, press the number 4. So this is voting for whether we take the vote now that it's 9 o'clock, and it'll be just a couple minutes after, assuming nobody else leaves the call. And so Tricia, you have a 3 up. You're the only one who has 3. Go ahead.
I think that this is just not the way to move forward. These conference calls. This subject has been going on for more than 45 minutes, and there were other things on the agenda that we could have been working on too. So I think putting off the call so when everyone can come here, instead of just extending these conversations until after the call time is over. This is why these calls don't work for me as well as the time, because everything gets lost. You don't even know where the proposal is. And if we use Lumio, we could have people come in and decide on their own time. But now we can't even decide on that because of the way this call was facilitated. So I'm expressing some frustration, and I just wanted to let you know that I don't think we should make these decisions when, beyond the time that we said that we would. If you wanted to make them on these phone calls, then they should be made on the phone calls, and we should have it's a culture of getting through our agenda. Check.
Well, so given that, Tricia, are you saying, because I think what we would decide, what the group would probably decide, and we actually talked about this earlier when we first started talking about this item, was that it might have to go off to next week's call, because that's right now the alternative. I don't think we have enough people on. I don't think we have enough people on Lumio that we haven't even decided to use that as a decision-making process yet. So
we were going to do that tonight on this call. That's what we were supposed to do tonight on the call. So and I don't know how many people are on the call, but there's probably more people who look on the. If we promoted this as a way to inform our decisions, even though we don't make them, maybe you can have the 3 people who are left after 9 o'clock to press the buttons when you're ready to do that. But I find this not conducive to solidarity, and I think we have a new tool, and so I think decision making can be a little more evolved for this group. Check.
So I want to respond. I'll just put myself on the response to say, one, that regardless of the medium that we use to actually make the decision, I'm realizing, given that this is mostly here as a Q&A session to clarify the points with the Alliance for Global Justice and Elaine, that maybe that's what we should be just saying, that's what we're doing on the call, and hold off on the decision now that we've had a chance to get all this information from her, spend the next week continuing to discuss it on the list and on Lumio and so forth, and then make the decision in another week. I actually want to propose that as a way to move forward, even though everyone else is ready to make the decision now. And I'll make it a two-way choice. So if you think we should still make the decision with the 12 people we have on the call, or it's 11 people, I'm going to not count Elaine, press the number 2 and do the next few minutes. If you think we should hold off, have more discussion, let the information that we got from Elaine digest amongst us and continue to discuss it among ourselves for another week, press the number 3, and if you stand aside, press the number 4. The reason I'm framing it this way is that you have to consider the fact that some people think this is an urgent decision and some people think this can hold off another week. I don't have an opinion on that one way or the other, but consider that as you weigh in your decision. So 2, if you think we should try to do it tonight. 3, if you think we should hold off and continue with more discussion and digestion. And 3. So the way the votes have actually gone down, and I'm standing aside. So the way the votes for this have gone down have been that 3 people want to do it tonight, 4 people want to hold off, and 4 people want to stand aside. So at this point, what I like to do is to check with the 3 people that want to do it tonight and find out if you want to either try to convince the group to shift, or can you align with holding off and getting more? And if you have a reason why we should absolutely do it tonight, let's hear it. That would certainly be useful to hear. And that would be Gandalf, followed by Donna, followed by Delphine. Gandalf?
Well, I'm just anxious to move forward. I'm convinced that we need this, and I don't think we're going to do any better, and I'm ready to vote. But that's all. I mean, we can wait for another week. It's not critical. I yield.
Okay. And I thought Delphine was the next person I mentioned, but they just changed to a 4. Did you just change your vote, Delphine?
No, I'm not changing my vote. I hit the 4 to respond. I think we absolutely should move forward. I agree with Gandalf, and I feel that there is an urgency on this vote because, and I only wish we had had this conversation earlier, but it is essential for, if not essential, it's extremely helpful for fundraising, which I have a role in, and I'm hoping that we can grow our fundraising work group soon. But in the meantime, to just enable it, we really need to have some kind of some better fiscal structure, and I think this will allow that to move forward. Chuck.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. And the next person up is Kathy. But I'll let you know that one person who had voted to hold off next week just changed it to tonight. So we now have more people wanting to do it tonight. But we also now have one less person on the call. Tricia is not on the call anymore. Kathy.
Oh no, I didn't push the button. Must have been an accident.
Oh, you didn't push the number 2? Okay, then maybe it was.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead. You had pressed the number 2, wanting to do it tonight. It sounds actually what I'm realizing is the 4 people who pressed number 2 are all the 4 people from Occupy Sacramento. So what I'm hearing is the Fox and Occupy Sacramento has essentially formed a voting bloc unknowingly that says that you want to do it tonight, and everybody else who's not from Sacramento is good with holding it off. That's actually where we are. Did you want to say something, Kathy, and then I'll call on Lisa?
No, go ahead and call on Lisa.
Okay, let's hear from Lisa.
I don't see any reason not to do it tonight. I feel like we've gotten plenty of information, and if we put it off to next week, it's going to take up a chunk of next week's call, and people will be upset because we won't get to certain topics. So I feel there were 2 questions, weren't there? Should we have a fiscal sponsor, and should we use AFJG? One fly in the ointment is that didn't somebody from All Streets send an email saying that they would have some proposal for fiscal sponsoring and asking us to hold off? Does anyone else remember reading that email? Anyway, I've said lots of contradictory things, so I yield.
If you have a memory of that email and can speak to that, press the number 1. And meanwhile, Elaine, put your hand up. Go ahead, Elaine.
Yeah, I just want to say something about the time sensitive, how this reflects, how this works with fiscal sponsorship. NatGat has already filled out an application for fiscal sponsorship. So once you make the decision to go with fiscal sponsorship, or if you don't, but if you do, we can get started right away. So it would just be about when you want to, I can set up the donate page within 1 to 2 days. The bank account, nothing needs to happen with the bank account. Since Sacramento already has one, we would just get the bank details from you whenever you request a withdrawal. So there's nothing that would delay the process on our end. It's just a matter of when you all decide. So I just thought I'd throw that out there so to see if that affects the decision at all. And I'm going to check and say goodnight, and I'll be in touch with Jackie or any of you later. All right, thanks. Bye.
All right, thanks for coming, Elaine. And she's gone. That was quick. So I'm going to make a comment. There are a number of people who had their hand up, and we'll get to you in a second. I just want to say that this was a very difficult thing because there are lots and lots and lots of questions. And after I closed the stack, people kept getting on the stack. And with the interest of making sure that there were no other important things that needed to be heard, I took the stack. But there were so many questions that we would have had to really rush it to make it in by 9 o'clock. So really, that was my question: was should we do it tonight or not? And I was moving at a pretty good clip with the group, so this could have actually taken a lot longer than it did. So I kind of tried to keep it moving along. So let's see. We have Donna, followed by Delphine, followed by Sally. Donna.
Okay. Well, I'm going to break the spell here, and a Southern Californian is going to stand with Gandalf, Delphine, and Lisa here. So you're not the only ones thinking that we should move ahead with this. We have 3.5 weeks till the event. My concern is that we should have started fundraising a long time ago, and we need these particulars to be able to get started. We can't just very well ask people for money and say, well, we don't have anywhere for you to give it yet. Obviously, this is like a huge decision, but I think having a fiscal sponsor will help make it quicker. I urge us to vote tonight. I think we need to start right away. Like Elaine said, she could start within a couple days. Continuing to put this off is not a good decision, in my opinion. I yield.
I'm sorry, what was not a good decision? I didn't quite hear you. Oh, we put this off. I hear you. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, and that sounds good, Donna. So we now have 5 people wanting to do it tonight. And next we have Delphine, followed by Sally, and that I think is it. Oh, we have Lou with a response. Hang on a second. Lou, unless that's left over from before. Lou?
No. I haven't touched my my phone.
That must. Oh, that's your stand. That's your stand aside from before. Okay, sorry. Delphine, followed by Sally.
Okay. In terms of the email about third option, we did get one from Najil of All Streets, and unfortunately, it sounds like Najil is not on this call. Najil was encouraged to join the call, and All Streets were on the email list. The Google Groups one, at least, which I'm subscribed to, and there was. Unfortunately, the email came yesterday, and there were several responses. I think Sally and a few others wrote and said, "Could you please let us know right away because we want to vote tomorrow, Wednesday." And we didn't get a response, so the emails were sent out saying, "Well, we really should move forward with this." And I agree with that sentiment. I think it's quite time sensitive, although we actually have 3.5 months, not weeks, but still, that's not much time when it comes to all the fundraising and preparation we need to do. Chuck.
Yeah, Donna, it was a bit scary there when you said 3.5 weeks, and I'm going. I'm looking at the calendar, going, when is this event? So, hope you'll laugh along with the rest of us there. Sally, you're up.
Yeah, I did. I was going to say that I remembered the email from All Streets, and yeah, so that the reason I voted that we could put it off was because of that. But frankly, I guess maybe we should go ahead and make the decision because we do need to get the fundraising started, be it weeks or months. The time keeps ticking along, and I wanted to respond to Tricia about Lumio, but she's not here anymore, so I'll do it by email because that's an advisory. That, as far as I'm concerned, is not the decision-making body. Check.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Thanks. I know what she's trying to move us into the modern age. Although voting on a maestro, but I have.
You can't change midstream.
Well, but the thing is, voting on a maestro call is the modern age. I mean, this technology has been around for about 4 or 5 years. So the fact that we can even do this and have the hands show up and have everybody and have the hands be transparent so people can see the hands on the participant dashboard and all that stuff, that's all wonderful stuff. So anyway. So I think we're at the end of the stack. And I'm going to do this one more time, given that we've heard a lot of discussion. We've lost Tricia, but we still have the remaining group here. At this point, there's 11 of us. Nobody has acted other than Tricia has dropped off the call since before 9 o'clock, since I first asked the question, which is good. So first of all, can people stay? If you can stay for another few minutes, let's say 15 minutes altogether to wrap this up, including whatnot. Let's see if you can. So if you can stay for another 10 or 15 minutes to wrap this up, please press the number 2. If you cannot stay, press the number 3. And if you cannot stay, we'll see. Maybe we can take your vote from you or something like that before you go. And press the number 4. Well, that's it. Stay or not stay. So 2 stay, 3 not stay. Kathy, you're the only one who hasn't voted. And Chaz just joined us. Welcome, Chaz. You came at an interesting moment. You want to say hey?
Yeah, hi everybody. Solidarity from Pittsburgh. Sorry I had to do some work today, but I'm glad the call's still going on. I got another hour if you got an hour. Let's do this.
Yeah,
check.
We don't have another. I think it's been a tiring call. Kathy, I don't see you. Are you able to stay 2 if you are able to stay, 3 if you're not? Kathy. And while we're waiting for Kathy, I'm going to open up Lou's mic because you're the only one who pressed 3 so far. Lou, you're not able to stay for another 10 or 15 minutes?
No, I've been trying to run out for like the last 15, 20 minutes.
Okay.
But
got it.
I mean,
well, do you want to?
I'm going to stand aside on this vote anyway.
How about 5 minutes? Are you going to stand aside? Well, that's fine. If you're going to stand aside, that's fine.
Anyway, I've got to run.
All right.
So I just want to say goodbye to everybody.
All right.
Thanks.
Take it easy.
Bye.
All right. Kathy, still don't see anything from you, but I'm assuming you can stay. All right, let's move forward. So, Chaz, we're voting on the proposal. I don't know how this makes sense for you not to have been here for any of the discussion and to vote, but it's up to you how you want to play this. Since you are here, we're voting on the. I think we have 2 decisions to make, as it was said. So the first thing is, should we have a fiscal sponsor? If you think we should have, if you are aligned with us having a fiscal sponsor, regardless of who it is, press the number 2. If you are not aligned with us having a fiscal sponsor, press the number 3. And if you stand aside on having a fiscal sponsor, press the number 4. Again, this is not a specific fiscal sponsor, but just having a fiscal sponsor. Press 2 if you think we should have one. Press 3 if you think we should not have one. Press 4 if you stand aside. Looking for votes from Donna, Kathy, and Delphine. Kathy, I'm going to open up your mic. Maybe there's something wrong with your buttons. Kathy, can you hear me? Kathy? Kathy, I hear background noise, but not you. She must have walked away. Okay, that's what happened. Delphine, we don't have a vote from you. I don't see one. Delphine? There we go. Okay, we have 1 4, and everybody else is a 1. I'm sorry, we have 2 4s, and everybody else is a 1 with no vote from Kathy. Lisa, I'm going to ask you, can you speak for Kathy?
Yes. Yeah. I can speak for her on that too.
She would vote a 2? Okay, great.
Yes. And I'm going to go ahead and call her on her other phone and see if maybe she stepped away to take care of her mom or something.
Hey, people go to the bathroom. I know who knows what's going on with her. Kathy, I'm going to keep repeatedly asking you to press 5. Ask her to press 5 when she reappears so she knows she's back. Delphine, you have 4 up before we do the second part of the vote. Go ahead, Delphine.
Sorry, I got confused there. I pressed 2 thinking that meant yes, but now I'm not so sure.
You're standing aside?
No, I must have missed the instructions. I voted 2, but I'm not if I voted as I intended to vote yes.
You had voted a 2. Yes, you had voted a 2, but you're now. Yeah. I saw 4 go up after the votes were taken. Yes.
Okay, that's why. Yeah. All right. Please switch it back to a 2, or I will do so.
Yeah. The 2 people who stood aside were Jackie and myself, which makes a lot of sense, actually, when you think about it. So everybody else was a yes, except for Kathy, who we didn't get a vote from. All right. Second part of this is, should we have AFGJ, the Alliance for Global Justice, be our fiscal sponsor? Press 2 if you are aligned with having the Alliance for Global Justice being our fiscal sponsor. Press 3 if you are not aligned with that, and press 4 if you stand aside. Again, press the number 2 if you think we should have the Alliance for Global Justice be our fiscal sponsor. Press 3 if you do not think so, and press 4 if you stand aside. We got everybody's vote, but Kathy, Lisa, I'm going to open up your mic again, see if you can speak for her again.
I don't think I can speak for her on this issue. I'm trying to reach her on 2 of her phones right now.
Okay.
And
well,
so,
pending her vote, we have
so.
2. Yep. Pending her, the vote was exactly the same way. Jackie and me standing aside, and everybody else voting yes. And so, pending Kathy's vote, this may. And by the way, Lou stood aside. He said he was standing aside. So it's actually 3 stand-asides on these. The question is, we don't know if we can carry this without Kathy. So we have a provisional yes. Lisa, I don't want to tell her that because I don't want that to sway her vote. But I want everybody else to know here that we have a provisional yes on this without her.
How about
her
if we do like they do in the legislature? You know, when they don't have enough votes to get something out of a committee, they call it holding the vote. So we could hold it open, and I don't want to make everyone have to wait on the call, but I might be able to get a hold of her in 10 minutes or so, or 5 minutes. So she may be busy with her mom and not able to get to the phone.
Yeah, it's sort of we've got the decision pending the last person voting, and if the person blocks the decision, then we have to deal with that. Okay.
Yeah.
But again, don't let her know how we voted. Just
okay, I won't.
I think she should vote independently of what we did, and speak her own conscience and her own mind.
I will.
Donna.
Do that.
And Donna would like to speak. Go ahead.
Yes, Callie, you said a couple times now all the refs choose, but I'd like to hear a number of how many twos there are, please. I yield.
Sure. There were 7 twos, and if you include Lou, 3 stand-asides. So 10 people voted, including Chaz. And it would be 11 if Kathy were on the call. So that's where we are. Lisa, I'm going to turn it back over to you because, Kathy, you're back. Kathy, I'm going to open up your mic. We voted twice. So the first vote was, should we have a fiscal sponsor? 2 for yes, 3 for no, 4 for stand aside. Kathy?
Mm-hmm.
You can just speak it verbally if you like. Oh, you put the 2 up, okay. And the second one is, should the Alliance for Global Justice be our fiscal sponsor? 2 for yes, 3 for no, 4 for stand aside. Wait a minute, I got to put your hand down so I can see it again. Go ahead and vote again, Kathy. All right, we have it. So it's 8 twos and 3 fours on both votes. We voted identically on both things. We actually passed this tonight. I want to appreciate all those people who changed their minds and decided they wanted to do it tonight. I didn't have an opinion one way or the other. I didn't vote on that. But I wanted to just say we made this decision. It's an important decision. I believe it will help the gathering to have a way to have donations. As Jackie pointed out to me, we can't accept donations until this happens, and this is actually going to hurt us the longer we wait. So I appreciate those of you who stepped forward, and Donna also for you standing up and taking a stand with the others as well. Jackie, you have a 4 up.
Yeah. Okay. I just wanted to be sure that Sally notes it in the notes that my stand aside, it's not being apathetic. I'm just standing aside for ethical reasons because I already have dealt with AFTJ, but I would definitely vote for it. So I don't know if that matters, but since it's only 7 or 8 to 3, it would be another one, and I assume sort of the same for you, Cal. I'm just standing aside, because I don't want to push an agenda. Check.
Well, I stood aside not because I have had any direct dealings with them, but because as an inner Occupy folk, and we do work with them as a fiscal sponsor as well, that I just felt like I'd like to be, for these kind of decisions, I'd like to be part of the structure of holding the vote, but not actually the content, which means I would prefer not to vote. Plus, I don't actually have an informed enough opinion to vote, so on top of that. All right, Lisa, I had imagined this was going to be 45 minutes and then turning the rest of the call back over to you, but this turned out to be a much longer Q&A session than I could have ever dreamed. So I'm going to turn it back over to you to do whatever you want with the rest of the call.
I think what I want to do with the rest of the call is have people check out. It's almost we've gone almost 2.5 hours, and unless somebody has a strong objection to want to cover something on this call, but it does look like Donna has something to say. Donna, go ahead.
Yeah, I just was wondering if you could just repeat the agenda items we did not get to today, just to refresh my memory. Right now, I guess that would be old business. I yield. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, I will do that. And, okay, the ones we did not get to today, briefly, are Lumio, proposal for discussion panels, workshops on the Internet during NatGat, Share Tribe, Occupy the Musical, and I have a question mark about whether these are really agenda items. I have conflict resolutions, and I hope the subgroups are still using Google Hangouts. So that's what we have, Donna, that'll go under, I guess, old business or new business again next time. I yield. Okay, twinkles from Donna from that. So anybody else have anything to add? If not, we'll go ahead and put those off till next week. And remember the new starting time for next week. So Jackie. Jackie, did you have a comment, or was that from previous?
No, I do.
Okay.
Yes, I do. The comment was, and I'm sorry because I got disconnected, was to decide who was going to, be like the correspondent with AFGJ. So I just want to know if it's okay with everybody. If there's any objection to anyone on this call, if I just keep up the correspondence and then I'll put it out to the finance list if anybody else wants to take that over. So instead of having a big vote, just does anybody object to me continuing the correspondence? Check.
Oh, okay. If you object to that, press a number 3. You don't have to vote.
I'm sorry, that was the correspondence to what? I'm sorry, Jackie, I didn't get that.
To get the ball rolling, I'll have to connect Elaine with Linda and Brother Carter to get the bank account. I'll have to give her info for the donation, but we want to get on this as quickly as possible. Check.
Thanks.
Okay, so I guess it's our usual, 2 if you like, 3 if you don't. Or if you want to stand aside. I see nothing but 2s across the board. I need Jackie. You haven't voted yet.
Oh.
On your own.
I'm good with me. Okay.
If you're not, we better find out why.
I don't see a vote from Donna there either.
No, and Charlotte.
Right. But we had asked for objections. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we've got
right.
we've got everyone except one person voting.
Okay.
Yes.
Great.
We are unanimous, Jackie. So
hey.
Jackie, go for it. I'd like to maybe be in on that a little bit too. I don't want to go over everything, take up people's time now, but let's.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll CC you in correspondences. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All
okay,
right.
folks, it's been a long and grueling call, and let's go ahead and do our checkouts. Cal has asked everyone to stay through all of the checkouts, so let me go ahead and I'll just open up everyone's mic and call on you, and you can briefly check out. So, Chaz.
All right. Hey, I'm sorry I missed most of the call, but it looks like there was good work done. We're going to be able to get donations. That is great news. So that's Chaz checking out. Glad to hear everybody's voice. Check.
Great. Thank you. Sally.
Yeah, I'm sitting here typing decisions into the decision pad. Yay, we've got a time change. We've got 3 fiscal sponsor decisions, so I'm happy. Cal, we have a call in 2 minutes. Check.
Thanks. Okay, Jackie.
Yeah, ditto. Thanks, everybody. It was a grueling call. Sorry, tonight had to be the time I was all tech messed up. And see you all next week. Check.
Okay, thank you. And Donna.
Thank you. Yeah, a great call for getting things done today. Two things I had my hand raised before and it got put in a stack and disappeared or something, but I do want to mention that I had a friend of mine, Chris, who is with Artful Activist San Diego. He contacted Backbone. They unfortunately will not be able to be here this year because the date we've chosen is the week before they have a camp for a week. So he is going to try to put some things together to come, and I wanted to verify that perhaps those proposals that you were talking about earlier where people want different visions, perhaps it would be a nice idea to have everyone write their vision, and we could maybe do it in an artful way with Artful Activists by putting it on balloons or something, not balloons, but something more ecological like paper or cut out hearts or something at the beginning or the entrance of our first day. And that way everyone can share the vision and not feel like we have to go through the process of a vision that might be hard to decide on as well. Thank you. Sorry that was so long. I love you guys. Bye.
Thank you, and thank you for the update, Donna. Gandalf, go ahead.
Ruling or not, I think it was very productive and slightly inspiring call. I know it's a struggle, but I feel it's a worthwhile struggle, and I enjoyed the whole experience. So see you all next week. I yield.
Thank you. Okay, Delphine.
Okay, I agree. This was an important call, even though it was frustrating at times. I want to thank Jackie and Lisa and Cal for your hard work, and I'm excited that we are now finally moving forward with a fiscal sponsor and can start the fundraising, and I want to help in every way that I can. But I also want to emphasize that we need more people to support fundraising. We do not have anywhere close to the critical mass that's needed for the momentum required. And I'm not able to bottom line everything in the amazing way that, say, Jackie is doing on admin and fundraising, and she shouldn't be stuck with all that work either. But I hope more people become active. I think outreach is going to be crucial and relationship building, and that's part of the grassroots organizing that makes fundraising work. So the rest we can deal with on email. And one more thing is I'm hoping to get subscribed to Lumio. So I'm not sure who admins that, but please subscribe me so I can get more involved on those discussions too. Chuck.
Okay, thank you, Delphine. And me, Lisa, thank you for a tough call. Thanks for making decisions. I think it all went the Occupy way. Thank you. And Cal. You're the
yes, bringing up the rear again. So it was an interesting call. I was asked about, I think I found that about 9 minutes before the call started or something like that, or 15 minutes before the call started, that I was asked to come on and do this. I kind of like this dual facilitation thing. Hopefully the next time I step in with a piece, it will be something that doesn't take so long. But this was fine. We got through it. But I kind of like the idea of the facilitator holding the main call and then different people facilitating parts of it. That's a way to share the load around. So I like this idea that we kind of did it. Again, I wish my piece had been done in 45 minutes and would have gone back to you. But that was good. And a reminder that we did, and this is for Chaz's benefit, we did move the call. So starting next week, it will be a half an hour earlier. So that would be 6:30 Eastern Time, 3:30 Western Time. So with that, I have another call to race off to, as usual, and look forward to seeing you all very, very soon. Check.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Thank to all of you troopers who have stayed to the very end. So I will ring the bell, and I think we have done good work for this evening. So good night, everyone.
Everybody.
Hey, good night, everybody. See you later.
See you.
Good night. To hear your voice. Bye.
Oh, Lisa, if you want to stick around and debrief this call, I don't know if you do.
If we could do so briefly, yes.
Yes. Well, I'm already late for another call, so it would have to be a brief debrief because I've got to.
It will be a D with the emphasis on brief. Okay.
I'm going to ring the gong. How brief is brief?
Okay, we're in a private room. Okay, whoops, let me